All right, good morning. Let's go ahead and get started on our backs. Okay, so we'll go bottoms of the feet together, knees open up wide, and then rolling on down. And let's rest one hand on the stomach, one hand rests on the chest. Now try and pull that low back flat on to the mat. We're almost trying to scoop that tailbone up, feeling that strength through the core, feeling that stretch through those inner thighs. The shoulders relax. Take that big breath in through the nose and exhale it out through the nose, and making it almost like a sigh. Again, inhale, big breath in and out. Again, big breath in, pull that breath in. We want to keep that core nice and tight. Big expansion through those lungs, and exhale, again, pressing that breath out. So we want to hear that breath on the inhale as we pull that breath in, and then hear it on the exhale as we press that breath out. Just continuing this breath. It's just going to be a little bit more active. We'll keep this breath throughout the practice. And we'll bring those knees together. They hug the knees into the chest. Just give it a little rock from side to side. Let's stack those knees right over those hips, shins parallel to the ground. Arms can stay right by your sides. And let's just extend that left leg down so low back stays nice and flat. We're trying to get that left heel as low to the ground as we can, with that low back staying flat on the mat. Bring that knee back up and then switch sides. So that right leg extends down. Bring it back to neutral. Again, left leg out, back to center. Right leg out and center. Again, one more time each side. Left leg extends, bring it back in. Right leg extends, bring it back in. Now we're going to add the arms, so reaching those fingertips up to the ceilings, palms are facing each other. Now as we extend that left leg down, right arm reaches up over our heads, and that thumb is just an inch or two above the ground. Same with that heel. Inhale, bring it back up, and then switch sides. Right leg, left arm. Inhale it back up and switch. Center and switch. Center. Let's go. 10. Moving nice and slow. 9. Breathing. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Release it. Hug those knees in. Now let's plant those feet down. Walk the shoulder blades together. We want that low back nice and flat first. The toes are gripping into the mat, and then start to roll those hips up first. And then we'll start to bring it up one vertebrae at a time. Squeezing those glutes, lifting through those hips. And slowly roll it on down. So that tailbone is the last thing that lowers. You can press, roll it on up. And roll it back down. One more time, press and lift. And holding it here, core is tight. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll it on down. Hugging those knees in. That little rock from side to side. Now we'll go forward and back. Get a lot of momentum here on this rock. We're going to plant those feet. Then we're going to come into a forward fold. So lengthening through that spine, bringing the hands to the shins, lifting through that tailbone, lifting through that chest. And slide those hands down. Let that spine round. If it feels okay on your low back, that head hang heavy, just give it a gentle sway from side to side. Let's bend into those knees, flatten out that back, rise up to standing, reach it up nice and tall. Hips are pressing forward. A little bit of an arch through the back. We want to keep that core nice and tight. Then let's draw those elbows down, interlace the fingers behind the back, big opening through that chest. Slight bend in those knees as we press the hips back. Keep those hands clasped as we fold. Lengthen out a little more. And then release those hands, plant them down, step or hop those feet back to our plank. Shift that weight forward. We have 3 push-ups. You can lower onto those knees maybe on this first one, get a little bit more warmed up. So think shoulders are pulling kind of down and back, and then bend into the elbows. So that chest is just hovering. Press it back up. Again, lower, up. Last one, lower. Press it back up. Now, we're going to go all the way down onto your stomach. Point those toes. Roll the shoulders down and back. Lift that chest up into that cobra. Lifting those hands up. Squeezing those elbows back. Warming up those low lats. And then soften down. Good. One more time. Lift, elbows pull back. And down. Now this one we can press all the way up into that upward facing dog. Maybe give it a little sway from side to side. And we'll send those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. So slight bend in those knees, pressing the hips up, pressing the heels down. Let's go onto the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Hips forward, arms are reaching back. Then we'll pull those hands down, interlace the fingers, big chest, reach the arms back. And bend the knees, flatten out that back as we fold. A little more length. And then release those hands down. Step it back to our plank. We have 3 push-ups. Lower. Quick pause at the bottom. Back up. Down. And up. Last one. Down. Send it back up. And then we'll shift forward. Lower all the way down. Point those toes. Roll it down and back. Lifting the hands. Elbows pull back. Soften down. And roll it back. Lift. And down. Curl those toes. Oh, no, not yet. One more. Lifting up into that up dog. And then exhale, send those hips to the sky, down dog. Let's do that one more time. Leave that body nice and warmed up. You can come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Hips press forward, then exhale, interlace those fingers. Open that chest on the inhale, and exhale, we're gonna fold. Lengthen out and plant those hands, stepping those feet back to our plank. 3 push-ups, down and up. Last one, down. Ooh, and up. Now shift it forward, lower all the way to the stomach, point the toes, roll the shoulders down and back, lifting that chest, lifting the hands, elbows pull back, and soften down. Roll it back, lift, and down. Now up dog. Press and lift. And sending those hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And then come onto the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet behind the hands. Heels turn in, toes turn out, sinking those hips down into that squat. Chest is lifted, those hips are a little bit tighter. Maybe you're a little bit higher. Good, core tight. We're gonna lower that right hand down, left arm reaches up. And switch, left hand down, right arm reaches up. Hands to heart center, sink the hips. Breathe. So the more we press those knees out, sometimes that gives you a little bit more space to let those hips drop down. Really gotta fire these glutes here. One more breath. And straighten those legs as we fold. Find that flat back on that inhale. And exhale, plant those hands, step or hop those feet back to plank. We want that push up and vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Feet together, inhale, right leg lifts. Curl that knee to the nose, stepping that foot through, plant that left hand twist, right arm reaches up. Lower that hand down, back heel down, rise up. Warrior 1, arms down, interlace the fingers, open up that chest, and fold. Inhale, release those hands, rise back up, and exhale, hands to the mat. Send it back to plank. Lower down. Lift the chest on the inhale. Exhale, hips up. Feet together. Inhale, that left leg lifts. Curl that knee to the nose. Step that foot through. Right hand is planted. Twist that left arm, reaches up. We'll lower that hand down, back heel grounds. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Pull the arms down, interlace the fingers, open that chest. Exhale, fold, humble warrior. And release those hands, rise back up. Hands down, step it back to plank. Vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Hold it for a breath or two. Inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet behind those hands. Heels in, toes out. Sink the hips down into that squat. Right hand lowers down, left arm reaches up. And switch, left hand down, right arm reaches up. And bring the hands to heart center, hold this squat. And straighten those legs as we fold. Heels in, toes out, flat back on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Good, plant the hands, step or hop it back, push up. And vinyasa. Feet together, inhale, right leg lifts. Curl that knee and step that foot through. Twist right arm reaches up. Lower that hand down, back heel spins down. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Draw those elbows down, interlace the fingers, open that chest. And fold. Good, inhale, we'll rise back up. We're gonna slide that left leg back. Turn the toe to the back edge of that foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Warrior two stance, reaching through those fingertips, core stays nice and tight. Okay, now we're gonna reach that right hand forward, flip that palm up, like we're gonna go into an extended side angle. We're gonna keep that arm up, so use a lot more leg, a lot more core, and then we're gonna reach that left arm up overhead. So working those arms parallel to each other, keeping that chest open. And inhale, bring it back up, hands to heart center, pivot, open up to that long edge of the mat, lunging into that left leg. One more breath. Then we'll walk it back to the front of the mat, into that lunge. Send that leg back to our plank. Vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Feet together. Inhale, that left leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Step that foot through. Plant that right hand, twist left arm up. Lower that hand down, back heel down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Hands down behind the back, open that chest. Exhale, fold. Release those hands as we rise back up. Then we'll slide that right foot back into that warrior two. We'll reach that left hand forward, flip that palm up, and then that right arm will reach up and over, opening up through that chest, really strong through those legs. And inhale, we'll rise back up, turning those right toes out slightly, bending into that right knee. And then walk those hands back to the front into that runner's lunge. Step it back to plank. Vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. And then come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet behind the hands, heels and toes up. Sink those hips down into that squat. Now we'll plant those hands down and we're gonna hop it back into that frog. So kind of that down dog position. So we'll hop, the knees are out, toes are out, really bend into those knees, absorb it, and then we'll straighten those legs, hips up, heels down. And again, heels in, toes out, bend the knees, hop it forward. Let's try and get a little bit of air there. And we'll sink into that squat. Hands down, hop it back, soft landing, and then straighten those legs up, down dog. We'll go, let's go down, or up and back. One more time. Sink down, hop, soft landings, hold in this squat. And then let's plant those hands, hop it back, straighten out the legs, down dog. And now from here, we're gonna step that right foot outside that right hand. Sink that hip down a little bit more, but really strong through that back leg. Okay, one more breath here. And then we're gonna hop it, switching sides. So left foot steps up, left hand, right foot goes back into that plank. Hold it here. Another breath or two. Good, now we'll switch. Hop, right leg forward, left leg back. Good, and switch. And switch. And switch. Let's go one more time each side. Right leg and left leg. Good, and step it back. Down dog. Now let's bring that right foot outside that right hand. Lower that back knee down. And then from here, we can lower onto those forearms. Big stretch through that right hip so you can let that knee fall open a little bit more. Keep that back nice and flat. And come back to those hands. Let's straighten that front leg, pull those toes back. Slight hinge from those hips. A little deeper stretch to that hamstring. And then rebend into that knee, plant those hands. Stepping it back to our down dog. Go the other side, left foot steps outside that left hand. And back knee down. Lower onto those forearms. Let that knee open up wide. And come back to the hands. And send it back to our down dog. And we'll come onto our backs. So start, or not onto your backs, come to a seat first. Okay, legs are extended out. So squeeze those legs together, reach those arms forward. We're gonna roll it back one vertebrae at a time. We'll reach those arms overhead. So reach those fingertips, reach through those toes. Keep that low back flat on the mat. Then we'll hug those knees in. Let's cross that right ankle over that left thigh. Hug that knee in, tailbone grounds down. And that right foot is flexed. And lower that foot down. Arms tee out, we'll drop the knees over to that right side. And bring it back to center. Switching sides, cross that left ankle over. Hug that knee in. Grab onto the hamstring or the shin. As long as that back is flat, tailbone is down. Left foot is flexed. And lower that foot down. We'll tee out those arms. And we'll drop the knees over to that left side. Bring that knee back to center. And uncross it. Hug the knees in. Let's roll it on up to a seat. Sitting cross-legged, nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back, lifting through that chest. Just breathing in and out through the nose. And then blinking those eyes open. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.